Welcome to the best gambling show on the internet. This is the home of the money pick. Now it's time for a week one upset video. Hit the like button, subscribe. And this is maybe the video that made this channel blow up the most because I have hit as many upsets as any handicapper in the game. We're going to get to some upsets that I think could possibly happen. Hit the like button, subscribe. Let's get to the first game. We got the New York Jets, 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 plus 5.5 at Carolina. And I think this game is one possession, and I think it goes down to the fourth quarter. I think the Jets play a competitive game. I think Carolina has the better roster. I like what Matt Rule is building in Carolina. I don't want Carolina fans to take this the wrong way. But unfortunately, I think Carolina might be getting the raw end of the stick when you look at Wilson versus Darnold. I watched both in preseason. I wasn't too impressed with Darnold. It just seems like more same old from him. As for Zach Wilson, he showed glimpses of having superstar ability. And I'm not saying that's going to translate week one for the Jets. I'm not saying he's coming out here and he's throwing for 350 and slinging that thing around the park. But I do think he makes 3 or 4 big plays that will be the difference in a close game. I really like the Jets to cover on the week one Vegas spread picks. I'm not so sure they don't go into Carolina and win this game. And you really like what you're seeing in Carolina, but there's some things about Dave Tepper and this organization I don't like. And also this atmosphere isn't the hardest one to walk in week one. I think the Jets walk in and think they're highly competitive. Next game, we got the New York Giants. +3, they are at home against the Broncos. Broncos coming across the country to the Meadowlands. Well, this is one that generated a ton of conversation on the comment section of the Week 1 Vegas spread video. If you haven't watched it, go check that out now. I understand the comments, but people have given me these comments before about Denver. Everyone gets excited about Denver during the off season. They always have a little bit of fluff. We're even starting to see more fluff about Teddy Bridgewater, how he has a great record against the spread. That's all fair and well, and I don't like beating up Teddy Bridgewater, but it always seems like the biggest Teddy Bridgewater fans are fans of other teams who like Teddy Bridgewater as a human being. We got to talk X's and O's, and I think Daniel Jones has a good game here. And I know you guys don't believe. I know a lot of people don't believe, and it's more or less because this offensive line's terrible. I think they do enough. I think Saquon coming back adds a little bit of run-pass balance that they didn't have last year, and I think this Giants offense is productive. It's not going to do anything great. It's not going to hit top 5 heights, but I think they will produce more points than Theodore Bridgewater. And the fact that the Broncos are coming in on the road as favorites here is quite surprising. It really is surprising. It reminds me of last year, later in the season, when New England, led by Cam Newton, were favorites going into Miami against Tua. And we saw how that went for the favorites, the Patriots. I really like the Giants here. I like their defense. We all know Denver, they have a good front seven. But I feel like this Denver defense, I don't think they're going to perform better in this game than the Giants defense. I think the Giants defense might even get a few turnovers. Not that they will need to because Teddy Bridgewater is extremely careful. There will be a lot of punch. I think this is a good upset to bet. Next game, we got the Philadelphia Eagles +3 at the Atlanta Falcons. And I do not have a lot of science for this backup, for this upset. There isn't a lot of science here. But whenever you involve the Atlanta Falcons, you always get a little bit of letdown. It's just something that comes with the Atlanta Falcons. And you always think they're going to be better than they are. The stats make them better than they are. And I think Atlanta's offense, I could see them putting up 500 yards of total offense and still finding a way to lose this game. We'll see what this new look Philadelphia's Eagles defense can do in the red zone. I think this is where this game is decided, really. Atlanta's offense against the Philadelphia Eagles defense in the red zone. I think Jalen Hurts will be able to manufacture 17, 20 points. I really feel like he'll put his head down. I think he'll get like 50 to 65 rushing yards, which will really help this offense. I think it's a close game. And like I said, it comes down to Atlanta executing in the red zone. Will they? I don't know. There's always a question with Matty Ice, or Matty Melt, as I like to call him. Next game, we got the Cleveland Browns +6 at the Kansas City Chiefs. This is a rematch of last year's AFC Championship game. And I think the Browns have the capabilities to win this game. Listen, the thing I like about the Browns, and I know people are going to straw man me, and that's fine. I'm not a big Baker Mayfield guy as well. But when I start talking about the Browns, I start with the trenches. They have one of the best offensive lines in this league. And when they get that big boy, Nick Chubb, moving forward, they can become unstoppable. And that's what they need to do. The Browns don't need to be a luxurious team. They don't need to throw it 35 to 40 times a game. And when they play an elite team, I feel like the Browns accept that. They understand we have to push you. We have to run it. We have to use play action. We have to really win in these trenches if we're going to beat a legit team in this league. And that eliminates a little bit of the Baker Mayfield factor. And when you run the ball, that keeps Pat Mahomes on the bench. When you have a defensive end like Myles Garrett, that makes Pat Mahomes think a little bit faster. And that's what you need to beat Pat Mahomes. A great pass rush and a good running game on the other side to keep his ass on the sideline. And I know the Chiefs guys are going to come in here and say, Pat Mahomes is going to put up 42 points. He can't do that if he's sitting on the sideline. And that's what the Browns will do this game. And that's what they need to do if they want to win this game. Browns defense, I actually like some of the moves they made in the offseason, and I think some of the young players will get better, especially in the secondary. I'm curious to see how they match up. There will be no Sammy Watkins this year, and I know that's not a big loss when you got Pat Mahomes' military arsenal grade of weapons with Tyreek Hill and Kelsey, but I'm telling you, I think the Chiefs will be a little bit easier to match up this year unless they get the run game going, and I don't see that happening. That's why the Browns got a puncher's chance in this game, because they have the run game and they have a decent pass rush. If you can throw that at Pat Mahomes for a full 60 minutes, you have a chance to win the game. Next game, we got the Raiders, the Las Vegas Raiders, +4.5 at the Baltimore Ravens. Is this one just out of nostalgia? You guys can correct me in the comment section. Make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you subscribe. But is this just nostalgia? Because these last 2 years, we should be doing a hallelujah to John Gruden and the Raiders with how many spreads and money picks they have covered for us. They haven't made the playoffs a lot. They haven't won a whole lot of games, but they've at least covered spreads for us. So maybe this is a bit of nostalgia. But you look at this game. First game with fans in the new stadium. The stadium's absolutely decked out, completely novo moderno. It is absolutely spectacular. And one thing you know about the Raiders, they always come in and start the season swinging. They don't finish seasons good, but they start seasons good. I'm really nervous about this offensive line and all the changes made during the offseason. But I think they'll be able to get a running game going this game, and we'll see how Baltimore comes out. This game is more about the home field advantage and how Baltimore comes in to play the game. What's the best way to attack the Raiders' defense? What's the best way to attack the Raiders' defense? We all know it. 3-4 wide receivers. Let's throw this thing 35 to 40 times. Let's work in a few draws to keep their pass rushers off balance. And that's what you like to do against the Raiders. You like to throw that thing around the park. Unfortunately, that's not what the Ravens do well. That's not the Ravens' milieu, and that's not their comfort zone, and that's not where they are when they're winning games. We saw what happened when Buffalo shut down the run, and then they had to throw it. It doesn't turn out good. I think that's what the Raiders do. I think this is going to check out the over-under video. I think you guys know what way I'm leaning on that. I think this game is ugly. I think it lacks rhythm, and everything favors the underdog in that situation. I want to say the Raiders pull it out, but that offense needs to at least put up 20, 24 points. We'll see if they're able to do it. Next game and final upset of the week. We got the Chicago Bears, the Bears, plus 7.5 at the Los Angeles Rams. Absolutely love Matt Stafford in a Rams uniform with a McVay playbook in his arm. I absolutely love that scenario. I don't think Chicago pulls the upset, but I'm telling you what, this plus 7.5, if you give me Justin Fields in here, I would have been pressing Chicago's button. Not that I think Justin Fields is going to come in here and be a Colossus, be a Pat Mahomes, be a Tom Brady, but I really feel like this Bears offense needs a spark. They need a little bit of energy. They need a little bit of verb. And it just feels like, to me, Andy Dalton is disinterested. Last year, he looked disinterested with the Cowboys. This year, he looks like he's completely on cruise control. He looked like he was on cruise control, man. There's no emotion out of this guy. There's no fight out of him. Do not bet this one for an upset. I know some of you guys are probably getting itchy fingers because you see the fundamentals. You see how the Rams could possibly start slow this year, but we're not going to get enough out of the Red Rifle Andy Dalton. So stay the hell away from this one. Sometimes it's more about the upsets you don't take than the upsets you take. Hit the like button, share the videos. I will be live Friday, 4:30 Eastern time for a live call-in show. And make sure you check out my Patreon page. Every bet I make, I post there. It's only $5 a month, only $5 a month. Thank you guys. Hit the like button, subscribe, share the videos. The best gambling show on the internet.